The Canal. I haven't fished this place in months and I wondered whether I'd still like it. But today I came down with my fishing pole and my method feeder and I had a pretty successful couple of hours if you ask me, and it turns out I do still enjoy it. So let's get right into this video and get down to the peg on the Canal. Today I'm going to be fishing the Canal for the first time in what feels like forever. I'm in the exact same spot I used to come when I first ever started my YouTube channel. I used to fish here day in, day out. I loved it at the place. And I haven't been here in about 7 months. So today what I've done is I've bought my fishing pole with me, which is just out behind the camera, and then I've bought this rod with me, which has a method feeder on, and I'm going to cast this one out with some ground bait and a wafter, see if I can get a little chub on it or something, maybe even a perch, you never know. And then I'm going to be fishing with my pole back there for the majority of the video and seeing what I can whip out of this peg, because from what I remember I used to whip them up every 5 minutes here, at least one every 5 minutes, and I get anything from roach and rudd to perch. I even caught some rough out of here, or roofie, I'm not sure on the pronunciation. But anyway, let's get right into it. I'm going to set this one up first and get it out in the middle of the canal, and then I'll set the pole up afterwards. I've just extended the rod out, feeder's attached to the end, so what I'll do now is I'll get my ground bait up right here and I'll load the feeder with ground bait and just cast it out. And I'll just rest that rod right there now, on the little rod rest there. And I'll keep a close eye on the tip of it. As you can see, the tip's painted white, so it's very visible. And I'll definitely notice if I have a bite on that thing, from someone big at least. Because I remember the first time I came fishing with a method feeder on the canal, I ended up foul hooking a gudgeon with it somehow. So yeah, we'll leave that to it. Now though, it's time to set up the good old whip. Let's get that extended. And I'll just fetch a rig out my tackle box for that. I'm not too sure which one I'll use, because I've got quite a few, but I'll probably use one of these two. I'll go with the 8-foot one first, I think. Because if I remember correctly, this canal is about 5 foot deep here, so the 8-foot will be perfect. The line and the rig is now attached onto my pole, so I'm just gonna set the depth. I've got the hook in my finger here. It's proper tiny, perfect size to fit one maggot on and get a couple fish on. So I'll set the depth and get it out. I've got the plummet on now, so I'll just dip it in. Actually no, I've got to lift the float up first because that's nowhere near the bottom. Bear with me. Here we are, that's a bit better. There was a slight little tangle in it. Not sure how that happened, but I'll dip it in now. Hopefully I'm on the bottom. I'm not far off, you know, actually. Oh, I'm about that much off. I'm just going to lift it up slightly. Oh, wait a second, no. I've got to lift it down that much. I'm literally on the bottom. Perfect. Now that I'm on the bottom, I can finally get to putting a maggot on the hook. I went out the weekend and I bought a fresh pint of maggots here. They've been in the fridge, but there they are. And I'll probably put a red one on and I'll chuck a few out to bait up the area. So I'll do that now. Chuck one more handful there. And now I'll put one on the hook. Here we go then. First dip in the canal with the pole. Got a red maggot on, so I'll just dip it right ahead of me there where I set the depth. Fingers crossed we'll get the bites coming soon. Yes, here we go. We've got the first fish on of the session very soon. And look at that, he's a pretty big roach. He ain't massive, but he's a nice roach. So we'll get this bad boy unhooked now. Lovely, first fish on this peg in a while. Here we go, then we've got the first roach, or rudd. It might be a rudd, I can't tell. I think it's a roach though. It's definitely a roach, actually. We've got the first roach of the session. I ain't caught a fish on this peg in months, bear that in mind, but off he swims now. That was beautiful. Now, seeing as I caught that fish so fast, it reminded me of old times, to be honest. That either means this session's I'm going to be whipping them out, or I'm not going to get any more at all. But I reckon I'll get a couple more. I absolutely love this type of fishing, though, just watching the float. Oh, here we go, though. I'll get back to that in a sec. I've got something on. It's a bream. The bream's actually giving me a fight. What the hell? Look at this, look at this. There's a bream that's actually fighting. He's give up now, but he was given a fight just. I've never had a bream that's fought before. We'll get him on the land though now. Ah, that bream got off. You saw him for a second though, but the second I got him up here, he slipped off. He was a pretty decent sized bream though. I may have lost that bream, but I'll get it back out now, and I'm sure I'll hook into another one fairly soon. I know exactly why I lost that bream. Basically, the rig I was using, it was pre-tied, and it was one of them hooks that I'm like glued on almost, and they're, in my opinion, they're no good. So I've just put one of my own little hooks on, an actual eyed hook, and that's on now, so I shouldn't lose any more fish. Back to what I was saying before that bream rudely interrupted me. I just love this type of fishing, just standing watching the float. And because I haven't done it in so long, I've just started again. It just reminded me how much I actually enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to start coming pole fishing again soon. Quite a bit more anyway. I think I stopped this year though, because I really got into carp fishing, and I'm still really into carp fishing, but I'll have to weigh it up with pole fishing and carp fishing as well, and pike fishing as well. That's something I haven't done in quite a few months. Used to come lure fishing for them all the while down here. Haven't done that in ages. I got a bit sidetracked there because someone caught my eye over there. Question for you guys: is there such thing as a black squirrel, or was they just two massive rats chasing each other? Because two big black things have just gone past chasing each other. Seemed to me like they were squirrels, but they were black, so there was most likely a rat. But yeah, pike was something something I've got to get back onto soon enough. I prefer pike fishing in the winter though, because summer months I like to target the car, and winter for the pike, the big ones anyway. Just give me a second, I need to put a new maggot on this hook, so I'll get a red one again. Here we are, this one I'll do. I'll just give it a quick hook through the top of it, and there we are. I'll get this out now. I think something attacked my maggot just and ripped it off. That was why it's off. But here we are, I'll give it a dip out right in the middle again. Fingers crossed we'll get something soon. I think the reason I haven't caught a fish in the last 7 minutes or so is because when the hook snapped off when I caught the bream and I tied the new one on, I haven't reset the depth, so I'm going to reset the depth now, and then I'll get back onto catching them. I was wondering why I weren't catching, but that is most likely why. Here we go, I've got a fish on. Lovely perch, I think. Yeah, it is a perch. I've got myself my first perch. Not the first perch I've ever caught, but like a nice one. Here he is, I'll get him on up now. Here he is then, guys. Wonderful fish this is. I ain't caught a perch in so long, so it's nice to see one. Just checking out his spine. That's what I love about perch. They've got really cool spines. He had a little bit of a gut up going on, but I got him out with the forceps. So we'll get this little bad boy back in the water. Ready? Off he trots. Wicked, there we go, I'm getting catching again, so I'm just going to keep dipping this in and out now until I can eventually get another. There we go, then I've finally set the depth on the thing now. When I caught the perch, the rod was just dangling in whilst I was finding the plummet out, and somehow it hooked into a perch. I got really lucky with that one. But let's pick out another red maggot. This one will do, he looks pretty red to me. We'll get him on the hook now and get another few fish. Would you look at this? I hadn't even dipped the rod in. I got it halfway down and the perch already took the maggot. This place is amazing. Beautiful little perch. Just look at him. Tiny little thing, but he's put up a decent fight and all. Let's get him in there. Catch some more then. What's that now then? I've caught 4 fish and lost 1, so I've had 3. 2 perch and a roach, and technically a bream. But let's get this pole dipped back out now. Hope for some more now. I've set the depth. I should probably get a lot more. Nothing seems to be coming off of the rod yet. I'll bring it in a moment and rebait it and recast it out. But here we go. I've got some bites on this at the moment. Oh, it's something big. He's putting up a nice fight. I wonder what it is. Oh, it's a roach. Or is it a perch? It's a perch. There we are. Beautiful perch again. I told you this place was good for pole fishing. Just look at that. Wonderful little perch. I've caught 3 perch now, and I ain't caught perch in months, so I'm doing well in my opinion. Let's get this beaut back in now though. Off he trots. Just like old videos this is. I used to come down here and do a video every single day of the week, and I'll just catch a bunch of fish. I'm going to try for 1 more fish on the pole now. Not for the entire video, but 1 more for now, and then I'm going to reel in the rod and rebait it. Here we go. Fish. Oh no, I lost him. But yeah, I'm going to get 1 more fish, reel in that rod, rebait it and all that sort of stuff. And then hopefully I can be able to catch some stuff on that. And hopefully I'll be able to get some stuff on that rod. I mean, I'm surprised I've not had a bream on it yet, because usually bream take wafters quite a lot. But here we go. Here's the fish I've been wanting. Seems pretty big. It is pretty big. He ain't pretty big, it's another perch that put up a good fight. These perch are really hard fighting. Just look at this guy. He's a bit bigger than the last one though, that's for sure. They're getting bigger as we go. Maybe I could break a personal best perch today. The hook in this guy's gone a little bit farther than what I can reach, so I'm just going to get the forceps on it, and there we go, it's out. Oh, maggots in his mouth. He can eat that as his reward for being caught. But yeah, that one's definitely bigger than the other 3 or 4 that I've caught, so hopefully I'll get a bigger one than that. At least a pound plus maybe. Off he trots. It's no time to bring this rod in here. Just lift it up and bring it in. I might have a fish on the end, and it's just too small to be realised, and it's just too small that I can be able to tell. But no, I don't. Method feeder's coming and there's nothing on, so I'll rebait that and get it back out somewhere else. Maybe right in front of me actually, where the school of fish are. Well, here I go then. Don't know if you can see there, but I've got a fresh wafter and fresh ground bait in the method feeder. So I'll give this a toss out in a different place this time, probably just right ahead of me. I'll show you where I'm going to go, and I'll do it like this actually. I'm just going to get underarm cast because that's a lot easier in the canal. I don't want to go too far. But there we go, just the other side. I'll get some back at it with the pole fishing though. That's rebaited, and also I'll get some on that eventually. But the pole's back out, get a couple more perch, maybe break a personal best, who knows. I don't have an awful lot of time left down the canal now though. I've been down here an hour already and it's gone like that. But it's currently 8 PM, which isn't exactly late. But I've got to go and see to my pond and finish off a video there. So I'm going to spend about half an hour more down here, because it'll start getting dark pretty quickly down here because of all the trees shading the canal. And then the second it starts getting a bit darker down here, I'll head off to the pond and do some stuff over there. If you guys are new here though, you probably won't know what pond I'm on about. But for those of you who know, you know. But I've got a fish on right now. Oh no, I don't. Oh, they're tricking me. I had a bite, the float went right down, but nothing came from it. I just chucked out another pinch full of maggots into the middle of the pond, into the middle of the canal as well, just to try and get some fish feed in there, where I'm fishing currently. It seems to be working. I'm getting a few nibbles. Here we are, I've got something on. Oh my God. That's the smallest fish ever. Oh no, it isn't, it's a gudgeon. That's why it's small. I thought that was a really small perch. But no, the second I realised it lifted right up, I knew it was one of these little bad boys. Look at that. Gudgeon. Gotta love the gudgeon, man. For a good 6-month period, this was all I caught out of this canal. It was hilarious. I couldn't catch anything but a gudgeon, so this is a good sign and a bad sign. I've caught another fish, another species ticked off of my list to catch today, but it's a gudgeon, so hopefully I don't get any more. But yeah, off the little guy goes. Tell your friends not to bite my maggot. I think I'm gonna set myself a quick goal of 3 more fish. Actually, no, up it to 4. 4 more fish, and then I'll be able to leave. But if I don't catch 4 fish, I've got to stay here all night. I'm starting to regret my decision of 4 more fish. I keep getting bites, and they go under. I lift, and nothing is on. It's happening right now, but something is actually playing with it this time, so hopefully I get this. Go on, just take it. Here we go. Yay, it's on. It's a gudgeon, roach. Oh, no, get it. Damn, I had something. It was the tiniest roach I ever saw. He dropped off and he went, but I'm going to class that as a catch. He was on the land. I should have set my limit to 2 more fish. Now I've got to get 3 more, and it's already starting to go a little bit darker than what it was just. Wow. I just keep watching the float. I don't know if you can even see it on camera, but it keeps getting tiny nibbles from gudgeon. I don't want to catch gudgeon anymore. Here we go. It's going down now. That's got to be, oh my God. It's a gudgeon for sure. How do you get gudgeon out of your swim? I don't like them. I'm going to put my rod on the floor and wait for it to be yanked in by a fish, but I've got to think fast then. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around with this rod for a little while now, try and get a fish on it. I don't know if I will. I hope I do, but the wafter just seems to not be working. It's strange. But then again, I've been looking at the tip. It's been wiggling just like that every now and then, little tiny twitches, meaning there's obviously fish messing around with the wafter, but they're just not hooking themselves because they're probably really small. So I think I'm going to bring this rod in now for good in about 2 minutes or so. This is having a bite. Here we go. I've got a fish on. Yay. A very, very tiny roach this one is, but that's another fish checked off, so I've got to get 2 more now. Here he is. Let's get the tiny thing unhooked. Cannot actually see the hook. It's very small. I'm going to have to get the little hook disgorger on because I cannot see it for the life of me. Wait, there we go. Got the hook out of his mouth. Very tiny roach this is. He's about the size of my middle finger. He ain't that big at all, but he can go back off now. Off he swims. Just got to wait on these last 2 fish now. I'll get the rods right back out there in the middle. That's where they all seem to be biting from, the middle. I'm going to go this side of the camera now because there's a horrible glare behind me. Hopefully this is a bit better. But I'm pretty sure the 2 minutes of leaving that rod out is up, so I've got to get that one away first because that one takes the longest to pack up. Here we go, got a fish on first. Wonder what this is. A gudgeon. I've got another gudgeon on. It's a gudgeon, but I don't care. It's another fish ticked off the list. I've only got to get 1 more now. Hopefully we'll get 1 more fish and it'll be a big perch like I wanted earlier. But here we go. Little very tiny gudgeon. Might be the same one I caught earlier. He looks similar, but he can go back off now. Let's get it then. We've got 1 more fish on. It feels big. It's putting up a good fight. Oh my God, it's a big perch. It's not no monster, but it's the biggest one I've had today. You saw the fight he put up just, it was great. And just as I predicted, I've got a perch. That's awesome. Look at that. You don't look big on camera, but in person, he's got a very, very fat belly on him. Here he is. Yeah, man. Ended the video on a perch, just like I wanted to. I wanted to get a nice big perch, and he's the biggest one I've had today. Beautiful fish. I love perch. Got a beautiful sparkle in their eye they have, and then the spines and the red fins and everything. They're just such a cool predatory fish. But here we go. Last fish of the video. Thank you for being caught, mate. Much appreciated. But off he goes now. Bye, fish. Yay, I caught my 4 fish. Technically, anyway. I got 1 on the land, so I'm counting it. But here we go. We'll bring this in now, and hopefully we've got a fish on the method feeder. No, I don't have a bream on, or nothing. I'll pack this up now, and then I'll pack my pole up. Well, there we go then. What a nice evening session out that was. The pole did me justice today. How many fish did I catch on it now? I had 2 gudgeon, 3 roach, 4 if you count the one that flapped away, 1 bream if you're counting that as well, and then I had about six or 7 perch, so I did really well this evening, to be honest. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Sadly I didn't get anything on the method feeder. I just bought that just in case anything big was lurking around and wanted to take the wafter. But that's about all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this one, it's just like my old videos, except these videos are a lot better than what my old ones used to be. But if you want to check out my old videos, they're still on my channel, and I did many videos at this one spot here. As I said earlier, I'd come here day in, day out, every evening after school. Obviously I don't go to school anymore, but after school I'd come down here all the while. It was great. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and once you've done that, turn on the notifications so you don't miss another video in the future. Become a member of the channel. The link for that is in the description. You'll get exclusive videos and early access to the videos you're watching now, and a cool little badge next to your name. But for now, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace for now.